Here we go. And action.
I'm Millie.
Hello?
Hi, you met Millie. Hi, baby. Millie's gonna be living with us.
She's gonna live with us.
Yes, Andrew, I told you that. I said she was gonna be living in the guest room in the attic.
It was just inspired by the terrible bosses I've had in my own life. I was a physician, and in residency, I had some senior residents who really were a lot like Nina.
You overheard those PTA cunts saying that I'm crazy?
They had all these weird requests.
No overnight visitors. I hope that's okay.
Things seemed to contradict each other.
I want you to feel safe here.
I do.
I was always so tired, and of course you can't leave because it's your job.
I have Saturday off. Isn't that what we talked about?
No, I can't spare you today.
I just kind of wanted to capture what it feels like to work for somebody who's really treating you terribly.
And these are non-refundable, I'm assuming?
Nina, I did what you told me to do.
Fine, they're gonna come out of your paycheck.
I didn't even expect it to be in bookstores. I just thought maybe it'll reach an audience I hadn't reached before. The idea of it hitting the New York Times bestseller list, it wasn't even a tiny bit in my head.
I've been meaning to ask you, did you learn how to cook while you were in prison?
It was a special find because at the time, the book was Frida's first book that had been published through a traditional publisher. Before that, she was mainly an indie publishing author. I had been looking for a psychological thriller, something that sort of like turned the genre on its head. And I feel like the best part of The Housemaid is it's a story about this woman with a past who entered a house.
Can I give you a hug?
And the secrets of the house owners might be worse than her own. Each person has their own secret that's hiding, and you don't really know until the very end who is the ultimate villain, who's the ultimate hero, and who's the ultimate victim. As soon as I finished the book, I'm like, this is a fucking movie. Probably when I got to part 2.
Fuck you, Andrew! Oh, fuck you!
The text started flying of like, everyone needs to read this ASAP. This is going to be the next project that we work on.
She called me and she said, I just read a book that I really love and I'd love for you to read it. And I ended up reading the book and calling her back and said, we need to get this.
I feel like the best part about being in my job is when you read something that like gets your blood turning, that's not the end of it. You gotta go run around and figure out how to go get it made. How do we make it ours and how do we make the best version of it?
Well, this is Rebecca, who wrote the screenplay, so kind of an important person, I would dare say.
I love the book. It's so good, and it's kind of one of my favorite genres, like a modern gothic thriller, and it's the fastest thing I've ever done. And luckily, they liked all the stuff that I was doing.
Oh, fantastic. Put your arms up on the... Yeah, there you go.
When I read the script, I got chills. It was so good, and I felt like everything she changed was like perfect. Some of it was like, oh my God, I wish that were in the book because it's so good.
It's too good.
Yeah.
When I adapted it, I was just really looking to capture the book, but it has an interesting structure that isn't quite right for a film. The first half is all Millie, and the second half is all Nina.
Why'd I even think I had a shot at that job? Oh well, at least I got $20 out of it.
It's really from Millie's POV until it's not. But that 150 pages of Nina had to be condensed into a really tight sequence.
Dear Cece, if you're reading this, I'm either dead or you just turned 18.
You had to tell the whole story with just a few choice moments. Tragedy of her backstory and single motherhood and her fairy tale romance, and then how it all went south, and then how she chose to find a way to escape with her daughter.
Hiring Millie was the only way I could keep you safe and set us both free. And I figured if anyone could take care of the situation, it was her.
This is not an exaggeration to say that in her very first draft of the script, this never happens, ever, she wrote what we believed to be a movie. We cast off that draft, which doesn't ever happen. Frida McFadden was thrilled, Sydney Sweeney wanted to do it, and frankly, we had to pinch ourselves a little bit that we got her because we couldn't have envisioned a more perfect Millie. She was the first choice, the only choice, and when she said she wanted to do it, we knew we had a movie.
Sydney's the best and is so smart and kind and gracious as both a executive producer and also as Millie.
I was a huge fan of the book already. I knew that people would be dying to see this on screen. But then also I just loved it too because of Millie. She's just such a strong-willed character, and I knew that I wanted to make sure the project came to life.
It's a character that I've become so attached to over the last 3 years, and it's like, I just saw her and I was like, it's Millie, and I was so happy because she's so perfect.
I'm just gonna say I think you might be overqualified for this job with all this experience and a college degree.
I just realized I really enjoy being a housemaid.
You do?
For the right families, of course.
Hey, cut, right. Cut. I've been a huge fan of Sydney's for a while. So when this project came to me from Lionsgate, great script, and Sydney was attached, I'm like, I'm in. Look, it's Frida. She wrote the novel. She's responsible for this whole thing.
Paul Feig, he's one of my favorite directors, if not my favorite current director. When they said he was directing, I was mind blown. He's just the best.
The script had gotten sent to me, and I thought it was really fun. And then I read the book and really fell in love with the book. But this one really resonates because it really puts a spotlight on how we make first judgments about people and how we make first judgments about situations. Then when you find out the reality that lies underneath things, how it confronts your view of how the world works.
Oh, Millie, stay the fuck away from my husband.
Then we had to figure out, who was going to be Nina. And I've always been such a fan of Amanda's. And actually, I met with Amanda. We had coffee, 10 or 15 years ago. Like we got to do something together.
And we're gonna work with each other one day. And I was like, oh, I gotta hope so. And then finally, Paul Feig, he's doing this adaptation of a book called The HOUSEMAID that was very popular. And I was like, sign me up. Clearly knows comedy, like not a lot of people do. And I think it's the reason I've always wanted to work with him. I thought it would be really interesting doing a thriller with him. There's a spin to these characters that you haven't seen. And it's really, really fun to play. It's just so fun.
Let go of this.
Brandon Sklenar, he's this big, handsome, charismatic guy, and within 5 minutes, he had the role in my head. This role takes a lot of twists and turns, and some of them don't make you look so good. And he's like, yeah, I want to do all this stuff.
What drew me to playing Andrew is I've never played a character like this before, and playing this man who's effectively playing other characters because he's a sociopath, so that's a lot of fun.
Seeing that nice guy transform into this monster, knowing that you can play the nice guy so well, I think makes it perfect.
Hey, come here. You're fired.
McKaylee I worked with on Another Simple Favor. I just absolutely fell in love with him. Everybody did. I said to Frida, did you write this for McKaylee? Had you seen his other movies? And she goes, no, it just happened to be. But he's perfect for it.
I didn't know he was that, but when I saw him and I heard his story, I was like, he's perfect. Ever since it was announced, everyone's like, you have to be it. It has to be a McKaylee. It has to be.
Thank you so much for believing in me.
Oh my God, I was dying.
The first job that I found, it was actually a gardener, yeah? I needed to pay my bill. Enzo is a strange character, it's a character that connects all the characters all around. I did work as a gardener in the real life for like 9-10 months, but I was never this weird.
So now you go, you pack your bag, you take Sissy and you leave right now.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.